Good morning. This is your MCCC update for the week of June 4th. This has not been a good week for women. In the news this week are potential changes to the Affordable Care Act regarding birth control, which seem to be pretty far down the road to be published and to take effect. So if you recall, during the debates over the Affordable Care Act, in the Obama administration, there was the case Burwell versus Hobby Lobby that had to do with the religious exemption for employers, in this case Hobby Lobby, who did not want to provide birth control because they had religious objections. And the court's decision in that case did allow for religious exemption for employers, but not for all employers. So it had to be a specifically religious objection. Fast forward to the present, and the Trump administration has issued a ruling which would change that aspect of the Affordable Care Act and allow for not only religious exemption but moral exemption. So this means that if you are an employer who would prefer not to have birth control coverage for whatever reason, it could be financial, you could claim a moral exemption and then let your employees know that either immediately or in the next round of open enrollment, coverage for birth control would no longer be allowed. I would note that a Vox article on Vox.com cited the Kaiser Family Foundation statistic that prior to the Affordable Care Act, 20% of women did not have birth control coverage through their health care, and after the Affordable Care Act took effect, that went down to 4%. So the Affordable Care Act did provide a great benefit to women of reproductive age. So this ruling is with the Office of Management and Budget right now. It could go into effect very rapidly. That's the last review step. So the thought that we can stop this change to the Affordable Care Act, uncertain at this point, probably not. However, we can express our outrage at the misogyny that is being leveled by this administration at women. So what I would suggest for an action is to call your congressman, that would be either Hultgren or Roscom, and let them know that you totally oppose this change to the Affordable Care Act, and in addition that you're tired of the weekly threats to women and the attack on women's reproductive rights. Women should have reproductive justice, they should have equality, and that you're tired of the misogyny that's being demonstrated daily by this administration and by this Congress. So call your congressman, give them this message, they need to hear it. And if you can, after you make your call, send a quick email to choice@mccprochoice.org to let us know that you've contacted your congressman. This is helpful when we talk to their staff so that we have numbers of calls in mind. And then if you're looking for some social engagement and to learn a little bit more about the pro-choice movement, consider coming to Read Between the Lines on the Woodstock Square this Friday, June 9th, for the first pro-choice book club. The book being discussed is Katha Pollitt's Pro, Reclaiming Abortion Rights. The discussion starts at 6 o'clock on June 9th. We would love to meet you there. Thank you, and bon courage.